What we're looking at here is a Sumerian tablet that actually shows the tree of life, flanked by divine beings. You can see here the Anunnaki on each side.
What if some of the oldest writings ever discovered contain a version of human history completely different from the one most people know? After advanced AI was used to analyze ancient Sumerian tablets, researchers uncovered translations describing multiple groups of early humans, hidden knowledge, and mysterious events that seem to challenge conventional explanations of our past. Are these merely legends passed down through time? Or could these ancient texts be preserving something far more extraordinary? Let's take a closer look. The ancient tablets that described more than one human beginning. Scattered across the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia, thousands of clay tablets sat silently for centuries, holding messages from one of the world's earliest civilizations. Many were damaged, incomplete, or buried beneath layers of history. Although scholars managed to translate portions of them, countless fragments remain difficult to understand, leaving major gaps in the story they appeared to tell. That situation began to change when modern AI systems, including Grok, were used to examine large collections of Sumerian texts. Instead of studying tablets one at a time,
if you see a cuneiform tablet for the first time, you're not likely to identify it as writing.
the technology compared thousands of fragments simultaneously, identifying recurring patterns, matching broken passages, and reconstructing sections that had been missing for generations. As more pieces were connected, researchers noticed something unexpected. Stories that once appeared unrelated began fitting together like parts of a much larger narrative. According to these interpretations, the tablets were not describing a single creation of humanity. Instead, they appeared to tell of multiple attempts to create human beings, each designed for a specific purpose. The texts describe powerful beings, often referred to as gods, taking an active role in shaping humanity. Rather than creating one uniform population, different groups were said to have been formed with different responsibilities. Some were associated with physical labor and service, while others appeared connected to leadership, learning, or specialized knowledge. What makes the account especially unusual is its repeated suggestion that the earliest versions of humanity were not entirely successful. Certain groups were portrayed as having limitations that prevented them from fulfilling their intended roles. Some disappeared from the narrative altogether, while others were replaced by newer versions. The process described in the tablets resembles a series of revisions, with changes being made over time in an effort to achieve better results. Another recurring theme involves reproduction. According to the writings, the first human groups could not produce offspring on their own. This created a problem, because new workers had to be continually created whenever more were needed. Eventually, the texts describe a major breakthrough. A wiser figure among the gods supposedly introduced a new type of human, one capable of reproducing and sustaining future generations without constant intervention. This moment is presented as a turning point. Humanity was no longer a temporary creation. It became a growing population capable of expanding across the world. The newer humans were described as more capable, more independent, and better suited to survive than those who came before them. Yet, as the story unfolds, another pattern becomes impossible to ignore. The tablets repeatedly suggest that knowledge, status, and responsibility were never distributed equally. Some groups were given advantages that others did not receive. And according to the ancient account, those differences would eventually shape the future of civilization itself. The question was no longer how humanity began. The real mystery was why certain people were given knowledge, while others were deliberately kept in the dark. The knowledge that was given to some and hidden from others. As the ancient story continues, one figure emerges as especially important. His name was Adapa, and according to the tablets, he was unlike the humans who came before him. He was described as exceptionally wise, capable of understanding complex ideas and communicating with remarkable skill. Among both humans and gods, he held a unique position. Yet despite his intelligence, Adapa's knowledge had limits. The writings suggest that certain truths remained beyond his reach, as though boundaries had been placed around what humanity was allowed to understand. Those restrictions became central to one of the most significant moments in the story. According to the account, Adapa was summoned before the gods and presented with an extraordinary opportunity. He was offered food and drink that could grant eternal life. However, before appearing before them, he had been warned not to accept anything he was given. Trusting that warning, he refused the gift. The tablets portray this decision as a defining moment, claiming that humanity lost its chance at immortality. From then on, people would continue through future generations, but every individual would eventually face death. As human populations expanded, another conflict began to emerge. The texts describe growing disagreement among the gods regarding humanity's future. One side believed humans should continue gaining knowledge and developing their abilities. Another feared that people were becoming too powerful and increasingly difficult to control. While this struggle unfolded, civilization advanced. Humans learned farming, construction, writing, mathematics, and the observation of the stars. Communities grew into towns, and towns developed into thriving cities. But according to the tablets, these opportunities were not shared equally. Some groups received guidance and education, while others remained focused on labor and service. The writings repeatedly suggest that knowledge itself became a source of power. Those entrusted with it gained influence, while those excluded from it remained dependent on others. This imbalance would have far-reaching consequences. Eventually, the conflict reached a breaking point. The tablets describe a catastrophic flood intended to erase civilization and halt humanity's progress. Yet one god reportedly disagreed with the decision and secretly warned a man about the coming disaster. Because of that warning, a remnant survived and life continued after the waters receded. But even after civilization was rebuilt, certain secrets remained closely guarded. References to advanced knowledge, unusual technologies, celestial observations, and a mysterious returning object called Nibiru were preserved only by a select few. According to the story, these individuals became guardians of information that others were never meant to possess. And if knowledge was being protected so carefully, it raises an even more unsettling question. What was so important that ancient texts claimed humanity was never supposed to fully understand it? The hidden human ability ancient texts may have been describing. Among the most intriguing claims found in these ancient writings is the idea that humanity once possessed access to something far greater than it does today. According to the tablets, the creation of human beings involved more than simply forming a physical body. The texts repeatedly refer to a mysterious structure located within the human head, one that was supposedly altered during humanity's earliest development. Different tablets describe this structure in different ways. Some compare it to a small chamber hidden inside the head. Others describe it as a crystal-like object, a seed, or an eye capable of perceiving realities beyond ordinary sight. Although the descriptions vary, they appear to point toward the same underlying concept. According to these accounts, the change was deliberate, limiting humanity's full potential. The text suggests that if this hidden structure had remained active, humans might have gained greater awareness, stronger spiritual connections, increased independence, and even longer lives. They also describe an era when communication with divine beings was more direct. As that connection gradually weakened, people increasingly relied on temples, rituals, and organized worship to seek the guidance and knowledge that once seemed more accessible. As researchers compared these descriptions with modern anatomy, one possibility attracted considerable attention: the pineal gland. Located near the center of the brain, this small structure has long been associated with spiritual symbolism in many cultures. Its pinecone shape has appeared repeatedly in ancient art and traditions, leading some to speculate about possible connections between the symbolism and the descriptions found in the tablets. The discussion extends even further. Some theories point to substances such as melatonin and DMT, which have been linked to sleep, consciousness, and unusual mental experiences. Supporters of these ideas argue that such connections may echo ancient beliefs about hidden human abilities. However, there is currently no scientific evidence proving the extraordinary claims described in the tablets. At the same time, modern AI has uncovered striking similarities between these Sumerian accounts and other ancient writings, including the Book of Enoch. Both describe powerful beings interacting with humanity, the sharing of forbidden knowledge, and a world shaped by forces beyond ordinary human understanding. Whether these stories are mythology, symbolism, history, or something in between remains one of the greatest unanswered questions. Yet one fact is difficult to ignore. Thousands of years ago, people recorded these ideas in clay, preserving them through the rise and fall of entire civilizations. And now, with the help of artificial intelligence, those forgotten voices are speaking once again, leaving us to wonder whether the greatest mystery is not what ancient people believed, but how much of their story we still do not understand. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed exploring these ancient mysteries and AI discoveries, leave a comment below, subscribe for more fascinating stories, and click the next video to continue the journey.